Hello and welcome to my creative castle. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for choosing to come back, hang out, spend a little bit of your day talking yarn with me. That's right, and thank you for your patience while I briefly introduce myself to anybody who might be new to my channel. Hi, my name's May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. Those are my hobbies, and I also happen to have been born visually impaired, legally blind, and completely colorblind. So I mostly knit and crochet by feel. And well, today's video, I want to say it's a yarn unboxing, but really, it's a yarn unbagging. Because hey, sometimes yarn comes in bags, right? But you know what? We're still gonna hashtag unboxing, right? So where's our yarn coming from? Well, it's coming all the way from Hobbii, Hobbii. Yes, I do live in the United States, in Washington State, but you know what? I am absolutely willing to search the world over, shop worldwide, and find the fun yarn, the interesting yarn, the unique yarn, the deals and the steals. Okay, so let me just tell you, I know that there's a 15% tariff right now. If you're wondering, by the way, what the percentage is for tariffs at Hobbii for the United States, excuse me, it is 15%. Hobbii does calculate it. They tell you that before you hit your final checkout button. You're going to know what that is, and you're going to pay that when you pay your bill right there. That's how that works with them. Different companies do it differently, okay? And different countries is different. But that's what the deal is with Hobbii for us. So I'm choosing to buy from them for a couple of reasons. One, because this is the internet. We're a global community, and I know that I have international viewers, and they don't have a 15% tariff, okay? But also, to me, it's worth it. If I can get the yarn at a really good sale price, then I'm okay with paying the 15% tariff. Every single yarn that we're going to look at today was on sale. That was the only way that I was going to buy them, is if they were on sale. One of these yarns was 50% off. So even with a 15% tariff, I got the yarn for 35% off. Okay, so for me, I'm willing to do that. But of course, you have to make your own decision, right? And if you're going to shop there or not, if you're going to wait it out. I don't think the tariffs are going to be forever. I don't know if they're legal. I don't know how long they're going to be. That is well above my pay grade and my knowledge, and I'm not going to get into the politics of it today. I'm just going to say that I choose wisely. I visit their page often. I look for the deals and the steals, and if it looks like by the time I subtract that 15% off, I'm still going to get a deal, then I'm willing to buy it. Also, I do look at their page because they have some really fun, really unique yarns that I really can't quite find anywhere else. And so for me, sometimes I'm like, okay, it might only be, 20% off or 25% off, but you know what? I can't find something like that anywhere else. So I want to get it. So let's look at some of the yarn we got in this order today. Let us see. I don't know if I want to start here or what is this? Okay. This is their teddy yarn. That's right. It is a like a fuzzy boucle kind of a yarn. It is 100% polyester. It is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. Now, of course, you guys know, right? I'm kind of obsessed with the fairy tale fur from Knit Picks and We Crochet over here at Mr. and Mrs. Bear Little Mishka. And of course, you know, if you're a returning viewer, you've heard me talk about my concerns that they're discontinuing this yarn, right? Because they keep they don't restock the colors anymore. So I've been searching the world over for fun other polyester type fur yarns. Well, I found this one at Hobbii, so of course I wanted to check it out. Now immediately we can tell the fairy tale fur over at Knit Picks and We Crochet is a number 6 super bulky. I knew this was going to be a worsted weight yarn, a number 4, so significantly thinner, and guess what? It is. So we know right away that this is not going to be comparable, right? Now, can we still make fun stuff with it? Absolutely. We can probably still make us a plush teddy bear. I think we can still use it for trim, right? For accent on our gloves and our sweaters and all kinds of things. So that's good to know. I can tell you right now, just from touching it, if you've touched the fairy tale fur from Knit Picks, this is teddy yarn. It's not as soft. Is it fluffy? Yeah. Is it soft? Yeah. But it's definitely not as soft as the fairy tale yarn, and it's not as thick. So it's not going to be an exact swap for us in our patterns. But I got the white because I wanted to see if it's white. Because as you know, the knit picks and we crochet, they discontinued their white. I mean, really, how are we supposed to make all of our Christmas stuff, our red stuff, and trim it up in white, right? I mean, that's what I want to do this holiday season, and I don't know how we're going to do that. So I've been looking for a good white substitute. I can certainly do white trim with this, albeit it's much thinner, right? So I'm going to have to do a lot more rounds, or I'm going to have to double it up. I'm not sure yet how that's going to work out, but we're going to play with it and we're going to find out. I think that they recommend a US size 7 or 4.5 millimeter knitting needle with this. And I would probably even go smaller than that, depending, of course, on what you're wanting to make with this, right? And I believe that your stitch knitting gauge with this is 3.75, I think, stitches per inch. And I tend to talk about knitting gauge. Yes, I do crochet, but I've been knitting a lot longer than I've been crocheting. So I don't understand crochet gauge as well. So I tend to talk in knit gauge, by the way. So this is a nice yarn. It's soft. It's not quite going to be a one-to-one substitute for me. For my bears, right? I could probably just make a smaller bear, like baby bear could show up and be adorbs, right? And of course, I will try to trim up some stuff with it and see what it looks like. I will not be able to use it as a substitute in my fancy and faux fur hat, right? Which is what I was looking for, was a way to substitute this out and find a way to make this if they discontinue over at Knit Picks. But this is still a nice yarn. Glad I got it. I probably will get it in more colors in the future. So we got that. Let's open up that other bag, because there's 2 bags here. Okay, and let's see what our other yarns are. We have the alpaca lace. Now this is a lace weight yarn. It is 40% acrylic. It is 30% alpaca, and I believe 30% polyamide. Yes, it is lace weight, and of course you can knit with it on lace, 0 needles, but they don't even recommend that. If you check on their website, they actually recommend that you use like a 4 millimeter, a US 6 on this yarn. I think for this type of yarn, it's very fluffy. This is a very, very fluffy yarn. You could, of course, work with it singly and like a 5 or a 6 and make a beautiful, beautiful, really airy, like my mohair scarf, right? That I've worked up on the channel in a lace weight mohair. You could absolutely do that, but I think you could also you do that with a shawl, a scarf. But you could also double this or triple it even and work with it by itself. Or of course for me, I'm thinking this is going to be like a carry along yarn, right? Where I pair it up with like a wool or a wool acrylic blend. I think it could be beautiful, really add kind of that warmth and that fuzz and that halo to another yarn. Okay, so that's what I'm immediately thinking with it. But who knows what I'll actually do with it. So one thing I wanted to talk about with this particular yarn, and to keep in mind when you're shopping at Hobbii, is presently at the recording time of this video, that's my screen reader, by the way. If you're wondering how visually impaired people access the internet, they do that with a screen reader. So I'm using one phone to record and talk to you. I got an earbud in so you don't hear that one. But then I am using my screen reader on this phone. So we're looking at the alpaca blaze. And something to keep in mind too, when you're shopping for it, you probably won't see this video for, I don't know, a few weeks, right after the date of the recording, because I've got a couple other yarn unboxings and unbaggings that are already scheduled. But presently, this yarn, oh, it is, okay, so it's not presently on sale. Okay, let's look at that. If we look at this presently, it is not on sale. So it is the non-sale price is $6.20 for one of these little donuts, right? So I'm thinking, like, I am not gonna pay that, right? When I'm looking at paying a 15% tariff, I'm not gonna pay full price. So, but even when it's not on sale, if you go into this little drop down box, this is one of their yarns that if you buy more, you save more. So if you buy 5, you're going to save 12%. So if I buy 7, I'm going to save 18%. So that'll at least counteract my tariff, so I won't be paying more. So if I buy a 10-pack, which is what I did, right, I'm going to save 30%. So, then I'm going to pay $4.34 per donut. I'm going to save 30%. And so that's going to counteract my 15% tariff. And I am still going to get it for 15% off of the regular price. So for me, that's probably worth it, right? Now, are there other lace alpaca yarns like this in the United States available? Probably. I could probably find something where I won't have to pay a tariff on it. So that is always something to keep in mind. But also look at that. So when their yarns are not on sale, they have several that are still going to be 30%. They do a buy more, save more. So really go into this website and look for those specials and those deals and those steals, right? So we talk about on here. The deals and the steals. Okay. So our next yarn that I want to talk about today is the colorina. And let's see if we can find this one. I don't want to drop it, right? We don't want to drop our yarn. That would be a sad day. So, colorina. Let's see if we can look that up. So, colorina it's an acrylic. It is 80% acrylic. It is 20% wool. And I believe it's like a DK weight kind of a yarn. I'm pretty sure that's what they qualify it as. It is, I would probably use a size 6 knitting needle on this again. It is kind of a light, airy yarn. It is a blend of wool and acrylic. It is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. It is a super wash wool, so it is going to be machine washable for us. It is another one of these very light, very airy yarns, and it's multicolored. It's kind of got like these long gradient stripes to it. This happens to be, I think this is the color Glowing Dark, which I think is black and grays, but I could be wrong. It could be blues. I am colorblind, and I sometimes cannot remember what I bought, okay, exactly colored wise anyways. So, but I think for me, this is going to be beautiful all by itself. I think I could make myself a really nice sweater with this. I think I could make myself a cardi with this. And I think, I don't totally know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it is very, very soft. It has that very fuzzy kind of an appearance and feel to it. That's the size of your strands that you're looking at on this one. So yeah, I would call this a DK weight yarn. I would put it in that sort of that light medium weight of yarn category. I think it's a nice yarn. I like the feel of it. It's a scarf yarn. Like I touch it on my neck and on my cheeks, and I can honestly tell you, this is a brand new yarn to me, colorina. And I can honestly tell you, it is a next to your skin yarn. It is a scarf yarn. It is a shawl yarn, but it's also a next to your skin sweater yarn. I am thinking cardi with it, but you wouldn't have to layer this one, right? Like there are some yarns that you think, yeah, that's a cardi yarn. I'm going to wear it over the top of something because it's a little bit scratchy. That is not the case with this. This is very, very nice. So I think in this particular package, we've got just, let's see, we got the metallico, and metallico is, I'm trying to remember what color I got in metallico, y'all. This is embarrassing, but I cannot remember the color of metallico at all. I think I got like a black cherry, maybe, and this is a, nope, hang on a second. Let me pause the camera. Okay, sorry about that. So I guess in your world it was just a second, but in my world it's been a little bit of a delay there. But the metallico, this is a polyamide. I think it's about 70% polyamide, about 21% acrylic, 9% merino wool. It is called metallico. It is in the color burgundy, and it is a very shiny, they call it metallico. Let's take one out and look at it. They call it metallico. Because it's got this really nice sheen to it, and it's fuzzy and it's fluffy. Now it is, this is a hand wash yarn, okay, in the burgundy, but it really is very, very shiny. Despite being fuzzy, I have felt a lot of that kind of shiny sheen yarns, and honestly, some of them are soft, but many of them are not. This is probably one of the softest ones. Now, I haven't worked with it yet, but it is fuzzy, okay, there's that. So it could snag. It's a thicker yarn too. It's a thicker worsted weight yarn. This is the size of our strands. I think this is about probably 4.75 stitches per inch on this, on your US size 7 or 4.5 millimeter knitting needle. I think it could snag a little bit when I'm looking at this fuzz. This could snag a little bit when you crochet with it. All of these could snag, I think, a little bit when you crochet with them, because I kind of like the fuzzy, fun textures, right? And I'm definitely still going to try and crochet with them. Probably, maybe not, I don't know. But it's definitely fuzzy. I certainly will knit with it, or at least try. I think it's going to be fine to knit with. I don't really have problems with yarns splitting and snagging and stuff when I knit. But when I crochet, I do tend to have a lot more problems. I think it's because I'm new to crochet and I'm visually impaired, right? And I'm feeling around and stuff. So you'll hear me talk about that with some yarns. I'll say I found it splitty, but it could be because, you know, I knit and crochet by feel. So sometimes I'm kind of stabbing at it more with their crochet hook, trying to, you know, ply that yarn apart to find exactly where to put my stitches. So I can tell you right now, just from feeling this one, it could possibly be more challenging for me, but I don't know yet. It's really, this is hand wash. Now, of course, you could make lovely, lovely accessories with this. You like a hat and scarf kind of a set, or a shawl. But I think I already have some in black, and I've already thought about making like a full-on dress with my metallico in black. I think that would be gorgeous, gorgeous. So, but you could also just use it for trim, like if you had like maybe like a sweater or something, and you just wanted to like do up the cuffs and the collar or something, and the metallico. This is really beautiful, and it would add like a nice kind of a trim. It would be like a nice accent as opposed to a main yarn. For some people, you might not want to make an entire garment out of this metallico. Okay, you might not want to, but it could possibly be a really good yarn for trim. Of course, you know me, I'm probably going to make an entire garment, maybe like a top out of it, or maybe like a dress out of it. I don't know yet, but I really love the feel of it, and I love it because it's so soft. It's another one of these that is really surprisingly soft for the look of it, because I've been disappointed with some sparkly yarns and some shiny yarns in the past because they're, you know, they're rough and they're scratchy, but this is not one of them. This is absolutely lovely, and this is why I am willing to shop at Hobbii. If I can get this for 30% off, right, then I'll pay the 15% tariff, and then I'll get my 15% off still. And I haven't found a yarn quite comparable to this anywhere else, and so I'm willing to go there and get it until I can find something of its equivalent where it doesn't have a tariff. So okay, we just have a couple more yarns to look at. Let's look at another one of their specialty shiny yarns. This one is very, very similar. It is called Pearly Haze, and this one might be in the cherry color. That was the burgundy. This might very well be the black cherry color. This one is also a this is a I'm gonna have to look this one up. I think it's a viscose. It is a viscose, and sorry, I'm not very organized today. Things keep kind of slipping my mind, y'all. It's like I think I'm just tired, and so I can't keep all the details of all this yarn in my head. Okay, 73% viscose, 20, I think 7% wool. This one is even thicker than the last one, but I think it's going to be very, very similar. It's probably going to have a larger gauge to it. That is what I will tell you, is that I think your stitch gauge on this one is even bigger because of the size of the strand. It's not, I don't think we're going to open this one, okay, because you want to see the difference, right, and the metallico and the Pearly Haze. And this is another one of these very fuzzy. Look at how shiny that is. OMG, y'all, look at that. Fuzzy and shiny. So this is why I'm willing to shop there, because I have yet to find anything quite like it over here. It's incredibly soft again. This is another hand wash yarn, okay? So you're not going to be able to, so keep that in mind. If you use this as a trim on a garment, even if your main body, like that you're using for your cardi or your sweater or something, is a super wash wool or an acrylic or something like that, even if it's washable, if you add this to your trim on your gloves or your hat or your sweater, it's gonna make it hand wash. So that's just something Whew. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm getting so out of breath these days. That is something to keep in mind on that one. I'll probably just make whole garments out of. I could see me making like a nice top, like a going out kind of evening top with this. Like I don't know, like a tank top or a halter top kind of a style. You guys know I love to make those all summer long, right? That's what we've been doing, making like tank tops and stuff. So I think this would make a really beautiful tank top or halter top. And of course, I think it would make beautiful accessories too. I think it'd make gorgeous things. I think you can make a gorgeous shawl with this. It'd be very drapey. So I think that there's lots and lots of potential. Again, another yarn that I haven't quite found anything like it over here, which is why I'm willing to say, yeah, I'll wait for it to go on sale, and then I'll pay the tariff, and then hopefully still get, even like a 10 or 15%. If I can get that 15% discount, when you buy more, you save more. That if I get that 30%, so then the 15% is knocked off from the tariff, then I still get it for 15% off. So I'm good with that. So this is really beautiful. And if we look at it, where did I put my metallico? We can look at it next to the metallico, and you can see that it's very similar, but it is even thicker than the metallico. And so they're both fuzzy. They're both very, very soft. They're both very much next to your skin. If you just want to get a couple of these and make yourself like a nice scarf or something, this would be fine. You could make yourself a lovely scarf with this, just like, something to wear around your neck. If you're like, I don't want to get a lot of that because it's expensive or whatever, you could just make like a little scarf or a little, like a kerchief, like a mini shawl or something to go around your neck with this. So either one of these would be really, really beautiful for that. Okay. We just have one more yarn to talk about, and it is the Divina. Look at this. So this is a number 4, but it's another fuzzy. Can you tell why I get all these really fun, really fluffy yarns? So Divina this is in the color Shark. It is an alpaca. I think it's an alpaca merino polymide or alpaca merino acrylic blend. Cannot remember for sure on this one. It might be, it's alpaca. It's something like 70% alpaca or something like that. It is really, really soft. It is really fuzzy. They might, I'm trying to remember if they calculate this as a bulky weight or as a heavy worsted. I would not call it a bulky. I would call it a heavier worsted, but this is in the color Shark, which is, I believe, it's like a gray yarn, a gray color. And so I would make this, I'm considering using this alone and making like a cardi with that, but I'm also considering using Divina and pairing it with like a maybe like one of these alpaca blaze, right? Like one of these really fine I mean, this has already got a halo and a fuzz to itself, so if you're just going for the fuzzy look, ooh, sorry, you guys. Oh my goodness, I'm so short of breath today. So, it's getting pretty cold here. I don't know if it's the weather going on where it's making me kind of wheeze or something. I don't know what. But anyways, I don't know. But this could be used all by itself and this is another next to your skin kind of a yarn. This is one that you can use on a scarf, right? A shawl, but you can also make it for a cardi or a next to your skin. So all of these yarns are super, super soft. Really soft. I would say every one of these is a next to your skin kind of a yarn, which is why I love shopping at Hobbii, okay? Because their yarns, in terms of texture, their yarns do not disappoint. So this could definitely, it's thick enough that you could use it all by itself and make a lovely garment, but you could also pair it up with one of these lace weight yarns and make it extra fuzzy, okay? You could be extra, extra fuzzy, not just fuzzy like the Divina, but extra, extra fuzzy with this. And I think there's a lot of flexibility in terms of your needle size. I think you could make this very airy and up your needle size quite a bit, or I think you could go down a needle size to like a US 6, like a 4 milli, and you could still get some nice tight stitches with it. So if you're just looking to want to use it by itself on like a sweater, you could still use it by itself and get some really nice tight stitches on a 6 or a 7, like a 4 or 4.5 milli. But if you wanted to really open it up for like a shawl or something, like a crochet shawl, you could probably use a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook on this and get something with a lot of drape for a shawl, and it would be really, really beautiful. So, okay, I think that I am going to go because I'm kind of wheezing and all that. Plus, I'm kind of like, when I get this way with the breathing, my brain gets kind of foggy and I'm struggling to keep all the details straight of the yarn. So, well, thank you so much for listening. Let me know, have you bought any of these yarns before, right? Have you bought them? What have you made with them? Which one's your favorite? And what will you be making with these gorgeous yarns? If you have these yarns in your house today, I wish you guys could reach through the screen and touch these, because every one of them is incredibly fuzzy and soft, like just amazing. So I love, love, love the textures of the yarns at Hobbii. So, but you let me know if you're shopping there or not, or if you're waiting it out to see what happens with tariffs. So I think they're gorgeous. I love them. But let me know your thoughts on what you would make with them. Even if you're not shopping at Hobbii right now, let me know what you would make with these beautiful, beautiful yarns. And remember, creativity is for everybody, right? Whether you see or you see like me, which is not in color, or you don't see at all. Creativity is for you. And whether it's knitting or crocheting or sewing or quilting or beading or sculpting or painting or weaving or carving or whatever it is that you do today, is a great day to craft and create. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, happy stitching. Bye-bye for now.